way, Jose.
Red Hot Gotsy, come subscribe, come subscribe, come subscribe, come subscribe.
No way.
Red Hot Gotsy. Alright, so today I am making another video on the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Now, I said I was going to make this video. I'm basically just going to be making a tier list of all the films, just talking about which ones are good and which ones are pretty bad, and you know, there's a spectrum. So without further ado, let's just get into it. I'm not going to waste any time. So yeah, let's just talk about the first one, you know, the original, the 84 one. Now, I would say overall, the first one has to be S tier. Like, they got really creative with this first one, and it really just sucks you in. Like, the remake is kind of an example of like what they tried to do with this, and they made it very boring and just kind of made the characters unlikable and kind of bland. But I feel like they needed to learn from the original in terms of like just making the world very vibrant, making these characters feel real, because they really sold on that. And honestly, I just like how creative they are with like the dream sequences and stuff like that. And overall, Nancy again is the GOAT. She's the best character in the whole franchise, and they really nailed it with this first, you know, like victim, kind of like main character, and or survivor, you could really call her. So yeah, just really love this first one. You know, it's not overrated or anything like that. It's actually genuinely good. Like 9 out of 10. I give it an 8, but overall, it could go either way. Now, when it comes to this second one, I can honestly see a lot of people, you know, going either way. I could see them putting it in like C tier, B tier, or A tier, you know, around that range. Honestly, personally, I would put it in B tier only because I think it's really good. You know, I really like how they expand upon Freddy's lore and stuff like that. He actually was basically corrupting Jesse, and I really like those sequences, especially when he like rips himself, like Freddy rips out of Jesse, and that's honestly something I remember from my childhood, and it's like just entrenched into my brain. It like probably scarred me or something, but I remember that I remember that specifically, but I didn't remember which film it was from, and it was a lot more gory in my head, which just shows how creative like they got with this film. Like, I literally imagined it in like a worse form, like in my head, like more bloody, more like you just gushing everywhere and stuff, or just everything. And I just like how not only creative the prosthetics and like the effects are, but like how he was eventually defeated, you know, through the act of love, you know, actually not fearing Freddy anymore. And Lisa is probably the best, next to Freddy himself, probably the best character in this movie. And yeah, it's really good, honestly. Now, as I've said before, 3 is obviously my favorite film in the entire franchise, and it's probably most people's favorite, if not the first one, obviously, because the first one's really well written. But this one, I actually gave a 9 out of 10, because I think there really aren't many issues at all with the film, and honestly, every single character had their shine, and, you know, I really just like how each character, you know, they actually were very brave in terms of, like, at the end of the film, wanting to actually go into the dream and try to defeat him, you know, bury his remains, you know, use the cross, you know, do everything they can in order to stop him for good, because they knew their lives were in danger, and they could have just quit and just like not done it at all, because, you know, they were all scared and they all could have died, and they literally saw Philip die right in front of their eyes, but they still went anyway. That's bravery, and that's the type of character writing that I really love in films like this. And I want to see more of that in like horror related stuff, and I hope, you know, next year when I do like another horror related Halloween video, that I see more stuff like this, so I can make a video about it and like show y'all, you know, some really good films, because that's what I want to see. And this is by far one of the best horror films. It honestly might be #1 horror film I've ever seen. Like, it's goated, honestly. Also, I forgot to mention that Nancy's in this, and Nancy's the greatest character to ever be in anything ever, and yeah, I love her, and you know, just awesome. This movie's great, and it's amazing, and yay. Now, when it comes to the fourth one, honestly, this is one of the weaker films in the whole franchise. I honestly wanted it to be better than it actually was, and I already knew, like, you know, we already lost Nancy, the greatest character ever, so, like, it's like, no other character can top her. And we still had like Kincaid and all those other characters and stuff like that. We still had Kristen, but then, you know, they kill off Kristen, they kill off Kincaid and Joey, I think his name was. And it's just kind of like, I feel like this one kind of shows that they were kind of dragging out the series a little bit. Because after 3, it just feels kind of like, well, we need to have another story because, you know, or extend the story because, you know, Freddy's popular. It kind of felt like that. And it kind of reminds me of Spider-Man 3, like how Spider-Man 3 was very packed. And it had the whole trilogy, like, the whole trilogy had only one villain for each movie, but then the third one they just add like a bunch, and it was the weakest, obviously. If they stretched out the Spider-Man franchise, the Raimi one, I could already tell that would be like atrocious, and it kind of resembled the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise because after the third one, it does kind of feel like the quality dips down significantly, especially when you get to six. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about six in a little bit, but four overall, I feel like it's a mixed bag with me. I don't hate Alice as a character. I'm not as invested as like I was with Kristen or Nancy for that matter, and it's just like the way he gets defeated, Freddy. I don't like it either. Obviously gets shown like the mirror, and then all the children that their souls are basically like freed after like basically defeating him, destroying him. It's just that part is cool, but it just kind of feels like I don't know. I just don't like Alice being the forefront of it, and that irritates me honestly because I just rather have like another character be that. I'd rather have like another Nancy, but I don't think we're ever gonna get one, or we ever were going to get one. Like when I was watching this, I didn't picture that happening. So it is what it is. Now the fifth one, honestly, I really have to think about it, but overall, I'd put it in B tier only because, like, I did like the kid, her child, and how he basically was the key for Freddy to actually seep into the real world and kill more people, because she basically stopped being the vessel, like, and the house wasn't really a factor anymore, even though a lot of people were still having nightmares. It basically was going to stop because the last victim was killed. But then, she had the child, and he became basically the new vessel. And basically, the child was the one who actually defeated him in the end, which is kind of interesting, It's like the thing that Freddy hates the most, that he wanted to kill, like, he was the one that actually defeated him, not just the girl. So it's like, I really like just how each character like fights back and stuff like that, how they end up not fearing him, and they use, like, once Freddy gave him his power because he was trying to corrupt him, he ended up using it against Freddy, and I really love that. Just like the themes of the whole film in general. It was one of the weaker ones in terms of like the actual like character writing, I would say, but I would say the kid and Freddy as a whole are just like, I would say they make up for it, honestly. I did like the backstory with like Amanda and everything like that, and how, like, I really just like how it really just dives into Amanda's backstory in general, and you get to see more about how she was taken advantage of in the prison or the church or whatever, and just how traumatized she is, and just the backstory of Freddy, actually being born and stuff like that, and it kind of mirrors the child, the main character's child actually being like helping her in the film, even though he's the vessel, and the vessel is actually the one who defeats Freddy. So I just love all of that stuff in the film, and just in general. Overall, I would say this film is really good, and it really did justice to every single character, and yeah, that's why it's B tier. The Final Nightmare is honestly a terrible film. It's F tier. Now, my whole thing is, the only thing that's really good about it is I do like the twist with the daughter. And how it's Maggie and stuff like that, and I just like how you didn't really expect it at first. You really thought it was the blonde girl, like the blonde main character, but she ended up getting screwed over, and you actually see they reveal that it's Maggie, so most likely she dyed her hair or something like that. And I guess she was okay in this film. I didn't hate her. I didn't like her as much as like a Nancy, but Nancy can never be beat, like shoot. But I love Nancy. But yeah, I think overall the film's fine. How they defeated Freddy was, I mean, I'm not crazy about this film, honestly. I think a lot of it just failed for me. How they defeated Freddy was underwhelming. But it makes sense though. Like I do like how they pulled him into the real world and killed him and stuff. But it's just how it all went down. The execution didn't really do much for me. So yeah, just F tier overall. Maybe E tier, but like it's just I can't put it any higher than that. It's really bad. Now, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, honestly, is an A tier film. I think it's really good. It's one of the better ones in the franchise in terms of writing, in terms of you actually feeling for the characters. I do like how Heather's basically like this whole film is breaking the fourth wall. It's basically like the actual actress is playing herself in this film, and basically just going through her life. She has a husband, a kid. The kid is being corrupted by Freddy. It's kind of similar to the Dream Child. Except I actually like this one a lot better. Like, I don't know why. It's just like I feel like the writing is just stronger with this one. It's not as over the top. It's actually more grounded, in a certain sense. And I don't like Freddy as much in this one, but I like every other character more. Obviously, the GOAT is back, Nancy. Nancy Thompson, man. So it's just like, of course, I'm gonna like this film. Like, it's one of the better ones in franchise. I could see someone putting this in S tier, but A tier is fine. It's fine for me. I would say the first half did come off as a bit boring because, like, usually with the Elm Street stuff, we see like the first couple scenes, someone dies, they get sucked into the dream and stuff like that. And I'm used to the faster pace, like getting to the point kind of storytelling with this. Now obviously they take their time sometimes, but the first half really wasn't doing it for me. The second half really bumped it up, and that's why I really like this film, honestly. So A tier, easy. I haven't seen Freddy's Revenge, so I can't really make an opinion on that. So yeah, I'm just putting it to the side. Let me know what you guys think of it. And now, when it comes to Freddy vs. Jason, I put it in C tier only because, like, I do have a lot of memories of Freddy vs. Jason as well. The same thing with the second one, the second Nightmare on Elm, because, like, at the end of the day, these films, again, they really scared me when I was younger, and watching them, when I'm older now, it's just kind of like, it feels very nostalgic. It doesn't really do anything to me now, but it's more so entertaining. I just really like seeing Jason and Freddy just duke it out. Two like serial killer kind of like very popular characters, monster sort of characters. And it's just interesting seeing crossovers like this. It's kind of similar to Alien versus Predator, and you don't see stuff like that these days. This is like golden material, and obviously it's not well written like at all, honestly. And a lot of people are going to be mad at this, but I would say I'm going to say it's under a 5 out of 10. I'm going to just say that right now. It's really bad. Really, really bad writing-wise. But in terms of, and even with the characters, it's just, I don't really like any of the characters, but I just like Freddy and seeing Freddy and Jason just duke it out. That's just, in general, what I enjoy from it. And I got that, and honestly, in terms of who I think really won, I think it was Jason, but Freddy, he got his licks in, and he really had an advantage the whole film because he was in the dream world for half of it, and then for the other half, he was using a bunch of obstacles, a bunch of stuff in the environment. So you could say that he won, but honestly, it can go either way because Jason, if there was no anything stopping them, like nothing getting in the way, no environment, no nothing, Jason's mauling him. Like, he really shouldn't be able to stand a chance, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It doesn't really matter who wins. I just like that the fight happened, and they both have their own franchises, and, it's just, yeah, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And that's going to be it for this video. Comment, subscribe, like. Let me know what you think, my tier list. What does yours look like? I really want to know. Put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think of each film as well. Maybe I place something too high or too low. Just maybe a different opinions on the characters, and maybe that could change my opinion on it. Who knows? And maybe I could change your opinion on certain things too. So yeah, just comment, subscribe, like. Happy Halloween to everyone. And just, I really wanted to make more videos, and I'm going to in the next 2 weeks. Like I said in the last video, I'm gonna make a lot of Cobra Kai videos because Cobra Kai season 6 part 2 is coming out on November 15th, and I'm gonna be making a bunch of videos leading up to that. So just stay tuned for that, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys then.
No way, Jose.
Red Hot Gotsy, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe.